The grand piano. My earliest recollection of the piano is my grandmother telling me not to frolic with it. I had seen grandmother go outside to water her peonies, so I jumped at the chance to run my fingers through the black and white keys. But as if guided by an inner alarm, she had returned and caught me playing with the piano. My father said that I owe my career as a business owner to that grand piano. Falling to master the piano and being constantly berated by grandmother had instilled in me a great hatred for being told what to do, so instead of getting a job, I became my own boss where I get to do all the berating. The Zhujiang classic grand piano has been in my family for 3 generations. For the Zhangs, it was a matter of pride, but for grandmother, it was her whole world. Grandmother's first husband, my grandfather, was a grand pianist. They say that he would have been the next Mozart had it not been for his untimely death. The story of his death is a family legend, a cautionary tale, a fable, a humorous dinner table story, all wrapped into one. My grandfather's death had so much more to it than meets the eye. The year was 1954. China was recovering from the War of Liberation and the Korean War. The economy was recovering, and the Chinese people had managed to find a new normal. My grandfather owned a small music store in Wenzhou. My grandfather worked at the store where she taught himself how to play the piano. A Chinese male giving too much importance to the arts was unheard of, but my great-grandfather's disapproval emerged when she realized the attention grandfather was getting. Despite the lack of proper training, grandfather rose through the ranks. He soon had a fan following. He quit his job at the store and moved out of his parents' home. It was at one of his recitals that he met grandmother and was discovered by a real-life Beijing politician. They say he was a member of Nation People's Congress, but grandmother's sister told me he was more like a political advisor to a state councillor. However, he had connections because grandfather was invited to play at the inauguration at the Wenzhou Library. Back then, a working-class Chinese man being honored in this way was a matter of pride. It was supposed to be a great day for Zhangs, but my grandfather wants no part of it. To him, a pianist son who lived alone and had a girlfriend was a matter of shame. When they When the day arrived, there was a fierce-eyed Chinese man in suits, and even fewer media personnel. According to grandmother's sister, grandfather was so eager to give an interview that while running up the stairs, he tripped on his robes and fell down the Wenzhou Library stairs. But grandmother had a slightly different version of the story. She makes it sound like grandfather was Leslie performing in Hong Kong rather than a talented artist playing at the library. Nevertheless, grandfather did have a distinction of being the first man to die in such a manner. His death garnered enough attention that the good people at the library nailed a small plaque outside the Windsor Library commemorating his death. Years later, grandmother realized her mistake in keeping me away from the piano. Determined that musical talent in the family would not die out, I, I was not worthy to use the grand piano, which is why she bought me a Yamaha. The more she scolded me for my lack of effort, the clamsier I became. We had come full circle. My great-grandfather had refused to talk to his pianist son, and my grandfather refused to admit that I did not have what it takes to be a pianist. But I do have good manners of grandmother. When I was young, I would go to the library with her. Together, we would read the newspaper, first the international news section, then the cultural section, and lastly the sports section. Grandmother said it was important for me to know that there is a whole world out there. Years later, when I told her I want to go to America to study, she made sure my father supported my decision. Growing up, Windsor changed in front of my eyes. The library closed down to be replaced a Merchants Bank and later a huge Apple store. People no longer sat about enjoying Chinese tea, talking to each other, and the shopkeeper is buying their fruits and vegetables. Soon, grandmother and I stopped reading the newspaper together. She would watch her news on the television, and I had the internet. But this despite the changing world around us, grandmother pursued her mission in making me a pianist with surprising tenacious. As the older in the house, no one could refill her commands. So every weekday I would go to a local man named Han, who would teach me the piano. When I would return home, I would tell her exactly what I learned and show her on the Yamaha. Frustrated by my lack of talent, I grew to hate the piano. I convinced Han that he had taught me all that he could, and instead he should teach me the guitar. I assumed my guitar by transferring whether a piano or a guitar. An instrument is an instrument. Unfortunately for me, grandmother did not share my point of view.